Hello, welcome. It's time for another reading vlog. This reading vlog is semi-themed. And the only reason I'm going to say semi is because I would have read these books anyway. Two of which were already on my radar. And they are Keeper of Magical Things, which has been on several of my monthly TBRs and is on my June TBR, and it's still June. So we're going to read this. It is a sapphic romance by Julie Leong, and she wrote Teller of Small Fortunes. And this is Keeper of Magical Things, and I have been wanting to read it for absolutely, since it came out in 2025. So it is going to happen. I have to physically read this. There's no audiobook that I can find. Back in my early days of watching BookTube, everybody was reading They Both Die at the End, and that just intrigued me. What I was hearing from everybody was just like, yes, I want to read that. I don't really know much about it. I think it's an MM romance. It says in the back, "Hello, I'm calling from Deathcast. I regret to inform you that sometime in the next 24 hours you will be meeting an untimely death. On behalf of everyone here at Deathcast, we are sorry to lose you. Live this day to the fullest, okay?" And that's what happens. There's two boys. I'm 23% of the way in. I started it already because, I wanted to make sure. There are two boys. We start with Mateo, and he's a homebody. He's an extreme homebody. He knows about the Deathcast. They have this thing where it's all online if it's your last day, and you can broadcast what your last day is like. And he's kind of obsessed with it, and he's obsessed with not dying, so he kind of doesn't leave his home. There's also Rufus. When we first meet Rufus, he's beating somebody up. When I have last left, they are about to meet for the first time. So that's where I am in this. I'm not loving it, but I don't dislike it. It's just it's still developing. I like the way it's written, so that's a definite plus. So I am listening to this. I will be sitting down and reading some of this afternoon or tonight. This afternoon is already, the day's getting away from me today. So maybe this will be in the morning, and I'll have you join me when I start that. But the third book is not a book that was on my radar other than it's Jacqueline Woodson, and I love Jacqueline Woodson. I've read a few of her books, but I've only read her children's books. I didn't even realize that she wrote adult books. Red at the Bone, I know nothing about it other than I think it's a 2-generation early pregnancy type storyline. So I'm really intrigued. It's going to be an audiobook. It's going to be fast. It's not a book in verse, but it's not, let's just say there's a lot of white space in this book. So these are the 3 books that I'm going to read this week. They Both Die at the End. I've already started, 23% in. This is on my June TBR, Keeper of Magical Things. Red at the Bone by Jacqueline Woodson. Can't wait. It's going to be a good week. So I thought I would give you an update, but first I thought I would apologize for the jackhammer that's outside if you can hear that. I am trying to read Keeper of Magical Things. I have read 2 chapters. I am just not able to focus. And it's not even just this, I actually am enjoying what I'm reading. I have passed the part where I had read before ages and ages ago, which was only, I think, the first chapter, not even the whole chapter, possibly. And I am enjoying it. And it's about, Certainty that's her name, Certainty. She is a novice mage working in the laundry room because her magic is being able to talk to objects. It starts off with her arguing with a quilt that it needs to be cleaned, that the stain that is on there is not pretty, and that it'll be turned into rags if it doesn't get cleaned. And then the kitchen staff gets turned into cabbages. And that, it's funny, it's cute, it's quirky, it's whatever. But I am struggling. And it has nothing to do with this. I have 2 other books that I am also physically reading, and I am struggling to read them. I am just not able to focus. So I have decided, I have made the executive decision. I'm not giving up on this. I'm not DNFing. I'm not even soft DNFing. I'm going to continue. It's just not going to be in this video because I'm just going to have to take my time with it. I want to read this. I'm enjoying it. Seriously, I'm lucky if I get a page at a time. So They Both Die at the End. I am enjoying this. I do actually really like this. I'm about 58%, I think is what Libby says. And I paused it because I wanted to be able to talk to you about it, give you an update on what's happening. I don't remember if I said anything. We have met Teo, who is he's very housebound and timid and afraid of dying. And now it's his death day. Rufus, who is helping him, they've become final friends to each other, and they have promised to help each other deal with what they need to deal with and get to where they need to go and see the things they want to see. And they have been supporting each other. They are being good final friends. It starts with like 12:23 a.m. I just got the death cast call, and 1:43 a.m. this and 2:00 whatever. And it goes back and forth between Mateo's point of view and Rufus's point of view. But every once in a while, there's another person's point of view. And it'll start off with saying, I don't remember their names, Bob. Bob did not get a call from Deathcast because he is not dying today. That kind of thing. And so it'll say how Bob is related into the story somehow. Though one of them didn't seem like related yet, but I'm sure it'll happen later. So I'm enjoying it. So far, like I said, I'm about almost 60%, 58% according to Libby. So I feel like I can feel their friendship growing, but I don't feel any romance growing in there at all. So I'm kind of looking forward to that. We'll see. If I had not waited to tell you about it, I probably would be done already. But what I did instead, and the reason why I'm more than willing to give up on this for you, is because I have been reading something else. And that is How to Read a Book by Monica Wood. I am loving this. I am just devouring it. I'm playing it at a high speed and I'm getting my puzzle done. So I've showed that picture before. It's a puzzle that's been sitting here forever. I've just been doing little pieces at a time, or when I listen to books, I usually sit and do my puzzle. But I've been really working on going out and doing things like dishes or yard work or something. But with this one, I just feel like sitting and doing the puzzle. So I've been getting the puzzle done. And I am actually, I'll show you a picture of it. I should be done by the time I finish this. But this is about Violet, is a 22-year-old who is in prison. And Harriet is the leader of her book club. She's a 60-something-year-old retired teacher. And then there's Frank, whose wife is deceased because of Violet, which is why she's in jail. How their lives are going to become interconnected. Where I am right now, they have all run into each other at the bookstore, which is where Frank is now working, and which is where Harriet goes to buy her books for the prison, for the reading group. That first encounter did not go well, to say the least. Harriet's niece is overly protective. The people who work in the bookstore with Frank, they're overly protective of him. And his daughter is a mess. We'll just go with that. And like I said, I am devouring. It's not as much about books as I wanted it to be, but it's okay. It's still an incredible story. And I have no idea how far I am on that. I'd have to look it up, but that's where you guys are. So that's where I am. I'm reading these two. I will be reading this for myself on the side. And I have not yet started Jacqueline Woodson's Red at the Bone, but I'm looking forward to that. That should be fairly quick and it'll probably be a one-day project. Hello. So good news and bad news. Good news is that I have finished They Both Die at the End. The bad news is I actually already told you about it. I recorded the video. When I was setting up for right now, I went to check the video, and at 2 minutes and 18 seconds into the video, it cuts out. The audio is there, but the video is completely black. So I am going to redo what I did for that part, because what I did was I wrapped up this, but I introduced Red at the Bone. I have this sitting here. I'm still not reading it. Keeper of Magical Things is still going to be an ongoing project. I just am not doing that right now. If you hear a catch in my voice, that's because there's another bad news. I have been sick. I woke up a little bit sick. Actually, I thought it was allergies, but turns out to not be, which has made it a good day to finish this. How to Read a Book by Monica Wood. So we'll get into that in just a second. But first, They Both Die at the End by Adam Silvera. I liked it. I really did like it. I felt like it was I guess it's a slow burn. It actually seemed to not, like, I could see the friendship developing. I could see them relying on each other. But when the romance part happened, it was too all of a sudden. And I don't want to give anything away. It went from A to D without there being a B and a C, if you know what I mean. So but that's fine. I mean, they had limited time, right? Because they're both going to die at the end. I really liked the world that was created. I liked the friend groups that they had. I really liked the whole thing about it. It was just sort of the way it ended felt abrupt-ish. Or not the way it ended. The relationship itself felt a little abrupt. I thought it was slow at parts, but because the world building was so good, because I wanted to see and experience what their experience. I actually loved the whole idea of Deathcast, which actually made me think of The Measure, which is a book I absolutely loved. So if you loved it or liked this, you would probably like this. This is adult version. You don't get 24 hours in this, but if you do the math, you can figure it out. Anyway, I did really like it. I just kind of missed the mark in a little ways. I guess is really all I want. I do like that it makes you question, what would you do? I'm going to get the blanket back on. What would you do on your last day? They both die at the end. Adam Silvera. I would read other books by this author. I don't know that I want to continue with the series. I think there's 3. I'm not sure. I know there's 2. May or may not. Certainly not against it. I did like the writing style. How to read a book. I devoured this. Just devoured. Again, it's not very much about books. It just happens to be a background. The books are kind of a meanwhile. If you've read it, you might know. And not the story. The 3 main characters are Violet, who is 22 years old, and she's trying to get her life back together. And she has the support of Harriet, who was the leader of the reading group when she was in prison. They run into each other at the bookstore. Frank is also in the picture. I don't want to give anything away, but Frank is also in the picture, and he's the husband of the woman that was killed in the car accident when Violet was driving. She was 18 or 19 when it happened and took the full blame. And so there's a lot about forgiveness and acceptance and the struggles of starting over, either from Violet's point of view of like coming out into the outside world and having to start over as a convicted felon, but also for like Frank, who had to go on without his wife. And Harriet has her own issues. Maybe it's not really about starting over, but like second chances. That's probably a better way of saying it. This is ultimately a book about second chances. And I just devoured it. Oh, I didn't say what any of my ratings were. I went with a 4-star for They Both Die at the End. I went 4.5 on How to Read a Book. It has an interesting end. It kind of just stops, and then there's an epilogue. And I loved the epilogue. I really did. But it felt very abrupt. And I actually, because I was listening to it, I stopped it. I'm like, wait a minute, am I missing something? And I went to the book and I read the end and I was like, okay, is it actually an epilogue? So it's not even an epilogue, but it reads like an epilogue. But it's very abrupt. And so that kind of was a little jarring. That probably knocked it down 0.25, maybe. Highly recommend. But don't expect it to be all that much about books. Jacqueline Woodson, Red at the Bone. I have been making myself a big pot of something healthy, listening to this morning. Well, I guess it's afternoon now. I am really liking it. We have met, trying to get everybody's names right. We have met Melody. She is getting dressed for basically like a cotillion. They don't say that it's a cotillion, but it's a cotillion. And she's getting dressed for that, and her mother is in her room, but she doesn't call her mother Mom or anything. She calls her by her name, Iris. And Iris missed out on her cotillion because she was very pregnant with Melody at the time, had shamed the family and all this. Iris is kind of having regrets. We're getting different people's points of view about different events. It kind of travels all different timelines. We had Melody's point of view, we've had Iris's point of view, we've had the grandfather's point of view, and her dad's point of view. Some of them are current, some of them are in the past. It's easier to read. Like, I had to start it when reading along. But now that I know, and the cast of characters, the narrators is amazing, including Jacqueline Woodson. She narrates a voice in there too. I am really enjoying this. I am not where that bookmark is. I am a little bit further along. I would say I'm about 60%, and I love this, but it's Jacqueline Woodson. Again, I'm trying to not have the high expectations, but so far everything of hers has just been amazing. This is definitely adult, and I'm going to continue this. I need to go stir my pot of healthy. It's lentils and rice and vegetables and stuff, so something that I need, I can tell. Just wanted to catch you up on that. On the back, it says, Woodson explores class, race, and death with unflinching honesty and emotional depth. Every gorgeous page leads to another revelation, another poignant event or memory. That's true. I'm going to go stir my big pot of healthiness, and it's not ready yet. It won't be ready for about an hour. And I will continue this and probably check in with you tonight, because I need to get the video going as usual. Okay, it has been a day. It is 3 o'clock, I believe, and I was going to sit down and do this video hours ago. I finished Jacqueline Woodson, Red at the Bone. I finished it early this morning, and I was going to do this with you early this morning so that I could sit down and edit and then have tomorrow off. But I started to do laundry, and our dryer is broken, and of course I was doing towels. So I had to rig something up while we wait for the dryer to get fixed. So we took we have sawhorses, my husband does, and I took 2 old mop handles and tied them to the sawhorses, and I made myself a drying rack. But I am feeling better today. I was sick yesterday. My son was worse. He actually had a fever. His fever broke last night, so we are washing all of his bedding. So it's been constant of taking things out to the sawhorses. Fortunately, it's a warm day. It's very windy. Things are drying. But on top of that, there was a stray dog running around our yard and the neighborhood, and we didn't know who it belonged to and didn't want anybody getting next to it. I'm a little bit pink because I have spent too much time out in the sun, including just a few minutes ago. This year, we didn't get any cherries because of the birds. Well, now the birds are attacking our plums because our plums are just gorgeous right now, just about ripe enough to pick, but the birds have decided to take a peck out of each one of them. So my husband and I are trying to put netting around the plum trees. My smoothie is an hour old, and I finally have time to sit down. I love this puzzle. I finally finished it. I did most of the puzzle with these 2 books, but I did the last 20 pieces listening to this. And it is absolutely gorgeous. I would love to just leave it, but I'm not going to. But none of that is why we are here. Jacqueline Woodson did it again. Just how she can evoke so much emotion in so few words. I don't know how she does it. This was so good. It was so good. I almost cried. I came very close to crying at the end. It is a multi-generational. It is mostly about Iris. It's less about Melody. It's actually very much about Iris and her relationship with her family and with her daughter and with the daughter's father and with other people, and her coming to grips with who she is and who she's meant to be, basically. I loved it. What Ron Charles of the Washington Post said, Woodson explores class, race, and death with unflinching honesty and emotional depth. She manages to remember what cannot be documented, to suggest what cannot be said. Absolutely true. I could not recommend this more. Now, this is very much an adult book. It has a little bit of spice, but it is not a kid's book, and I am so glad that I finally read it. I gave it 4.5, but because it's a good solid 4.5, when I went to Goodreads, I gave it a 5. That's an outlier. I think it currently on both of them has about almost a straight up 4.0 rating. But I really enjoyed it. It is a super quick read. It was a great audiobook. I do recommend it. I think you're good either way if you listen to it or read it. I started off with They Both Die at the End by, I keep forgetting, Adam Silvera. I think it had its slow moments, but the idea of the death cast and what would you do and what are these kids going to do just keeps you going. You just want to know what's going to happen. And if they actually do both die in the end. So this one I gave 4 stars. How to Read a Book by Monica Wood, which was not the book I was supposed to read, but the one that ended up getting read. I tore through this. I really enjoyed this. I gave it 4.5. I'm feeling now like it doesn't quite earn that 4.5, but only slightly. Again, I think the ending was a little jarring, but not wrong, not inappropriate, not anything wrong with it, just was a sudden thing, and that's fine. So not the set of books that I was planning, but not a bad reading week. Have you read any of these? I would love to hear from you. Thank you for hanging out with me. I really appreciate it, and I'll see you next time. Bye.